Hello and welcome to this week's Agape Leaders Monday Motivation. This week's guest is very near and dear to my heart. Years ago, when I first arrived in Lakeland, Florida, I had an opportunity to teach this young lady tennis, and she was spunky, worked hard, and always did, for the most part, whatever I asked her to do. And so we began to develop more than just a coach-player relationship. I think in part because we also went to the same church. So we had an opportunity to do ministry together. She became, I teach high school, if I haven't told you this 100 times before, she became my TA her senior year and just has always been someone that has been very special to me. Her name is Amanda Blackwood. And she now is, living her best life. She's married. She has an amazing husband. I was going to say she now is doing ministry, but I think she's working and moving towards possibly getting into full-time ministry. But I don't want to put words in her mouth for her. I will let her kind of introduce herself sort of and then tell you what she has on her heart. So without further ado, here is Amanda Blackwood with this week's Monday Motivation.
Hey everyone, I'm so excited to be on here chatting with you and so honored that Coach asked me to log on and give this Monday motivation. So this Monday, I'm motivating you to value your mental health. I think that successful leaders value their mental health and they value the mental health of those who they interact with every single day. The journey of valuing our mental health comes in so many shapes and forms. Some people require therapy, some people take medication for it, and some people are just a little bit better at processing and don't need those things. But there's no shame in any way that you choose to go on your journey in finding mental health. But ultimately, I think what's going to help us achieve mental stability and mental healthiness is finding it in the Lord, giving up our anxieties and our depressive thoughts and our intrusive thoughts and anything, our compulsive thoughts over to the Lord and letting Him take that burden off of us. And it's definitely not an easy thing. It's something that we're called to work towards every single day. But you see in the Bible that Jesus says in Mark 6:31, come away and rest a while. I think that valuing mental health and finding that in our journey with the Lord is finding rest in Him, knowing that in our anxiety, in our depression, in our exhaustion, the overwhelming feelings of this world, when we turn to the Lord, He's going to provide peace and rest and joy that things of this world can't give us. I mean, how many times have we said we're going to do a self-care day and we go to get our nails done, or we play sports, we do something that we love, we do a hobby, we go shopping, we spend time with friends or with family, and at the end of the day, yes, we feel filled and we feel known and loved, but we still feel tired. You hear it all the time, I need a vacation from my vacation. The things that we look for in the world to give us rest don't always provide that rest that we really are ultimately seeking. So Mark 6:31, Jesus says, come away and rest a while. So I think every single day we need to figure out a way that we can step away from this world and rest in Him. It's really hard, I know, when you're working 40 plus hours a week and you are, trying to do everything you can to work for the Lord, and, you want to be good at your job and you want to do well and succeed. That when we come home, we feel so tired, we feel exhausted. And so what are ways that we can pursue the Lord and the rest that He gives us every single day? One of the ways that I do this is in the mornings. I'm not really great at waking up and doing a quiet time, but I do have a 30-minute drive to work every single day. So while I could use that time to listen to music or listen to a murder podcast or, anything else that like I find really interesting. I use that time to listen to the audio Bible. So I have a plan set up and I listen to whatever it has for me that day, and it allows me to listen. I can reflect, I can talk to the Lord about it, or I can even some mornings just listen to worship music and sit in his presence. That's the really great thing about the Lord, is that he meets us anywhere. If we ask his presence to be there, his presence will be there. So we can do that. And then vice versa, on the way home, you can spend time reflecting on your day, spend time in conversation with the Lord of, what you struggled with, what you really enjoyed, what really brought you joy that day, kind of focusing on, the good things that happened while also describing the things that probably weren't so great and brought you, feelings of stress, anxiety, overwhelming, didn't make you feel good. The Lord wants to hear those things from us too. But we want to be able to focus on the things that were good. When we get home from our long days of work or school or whatever it may be, not turning the TV on right away, not being on our phone right away, not being on our phone right before bed. Social media is such a great thing. It keeps us connected and it's fun and it's a great outlet for so many people to share, and we get laughs out of it. But ultimately, it's a big distraction from getting the rest that we really need. It's the enemy's way of trying to intrude on our lives. So when we spend hours and hours scrolling through TikTok or Instagram or Facebook, and I'm guilty of this, I don't ultimately feel filled up with that, because we're filling our time with things that is not beneficial to us. So you see time and time again in the Bible where the Lord, he withdraws. Jesus does his preaching, his teaching, and his healings, and then he ultimately withdraws. He goes off on his own. He goes off with his 12 disciples. He spends time in prayer. He spends time with those that he loves. And those are things that are going to fill us with the rest and provide and the joy that we need. When we turn away from the things that are distracting in this world and we focus on the Lord and ask him to provide us with rest, he will. And you hear so many times that, come to me all who are weary and I will provide rest. We rest in the shadow of his wings. That the Lord calls us to rest. And I think that it's so important. If it wasn't, we wouldn't hear it so many times in the Bible that he calls us to rest, and to rest specifically in him. So it's not always about the nap that we're getting or the 8 hours of sleep that we're getting, but it's about the time that we're spending with the Lord and doing things that the Lord has set in our lives. So this Monday and this week, and really just moving forward, I hope you can find the time to put effort into your mental health. When we stop putting effort into our mental health, that's when we really start kind of failing at things, because we don't have the energy or the time, we don't feel to have the time to do the things that we love. It's such a life sucker whenever we don't take care of ourselves. As Christians, we're always trying to put our best foot forward, and we're trying to take care of others, provide for others, volunteer and do all those things. And all those things are so great and they're so needed. But ultimately, if we're not giving ourselves time to rest and time to take care of ourselves, then all those things are kind of done in vain. Because they're not really going to provide the spiritual filling that we need. So this week, I hope that you find rest and that you spend some time with the Lord. Find whatever your secret technique is, that use the time we have to find time to spend with the Lord. Make your time work for you. We're in charge of our schedules. We get the ability to do that. So any excuse of I just don't have time is more so I just don't want to make the time for that. So make the time for yourself, make the time for the Lord, take care of yourself, encourage others to take care of themselves, encourage them to go out and find the help and the resources that they need. We need, as Christians, to change the narrative of mental health. We need to value it. We need to make sure that people know that it's important to take care of themselves and that it's okay to take care of yourself. And in doing that, we need to find Jesus at the end of the day. So I hope you guys all have a great week, and thanks for logging in.
Thank you so much, Amanda. We greatly appreciate your wisdom and your words of encouragement and motivation. I certainly do miss you, and I'm looking forward to the next time we can have dinner together, you, me, and Sunny. So thank you very much. Well, that's all we have for this week's Agape Leaders Monday Motivation. Will you please share this video, this podcast with your friends? We have had such a great response to all of the content here at Agape Leaders, and we pray that you would help us share the good news. Until next time, you have a blessed week.